importance. If we take this example vessel, and she's approaching a starboard lateral mark. Of course, if she's following the direction of buoyage, she needs to leave that buoy on her starboard side. If you didn't know direction of buoyage, however, all of these vessels would also be leaving that buoy on their starboard side. There's no indication as to where the safe water actually is. On this diagram we can see the large underwater hazard bordered by starboard lateral marks. Now when we know where the hazard is, it's obvious on what side of the buoy we need to pass. But if we're just sailing along and all we can see is that buoy, we need to know direction of buoyage to know on which side we need to leave the buoy. On a chart, direction of buoyage would be given by this symbol. Sometimes it's coloured in like this, indicating green to starboard, red to port. And what direction of buoyage means is that if you're travelling in this direction following the arrow, you are following the direction of buoyage. In our example, the vessel needs to leave the starboard marks on her starboard side when following the direction of buoyage. Conversely, if she's running against the direction of buoyage, she would need to leave those marks on her port side. Now, as we've said, direction of buoyage on a chart is indicated by these two symbols. But there are also other ways to tell. If we look at it on a world scale, direction of buoyage runs clockwise around continental land masses. I've illustrated here around the North and South American continents the way that direction of buoyage actually runs. You need to bear in mind, however, that in places where there's a gap or an island, direction of buoyage may not be immediately obvious. For example, in Europe, direction of buoyage would run clockwise around the continent, but around the United Kingdom, it may not be running clockwise all the way round, so there may be places where it appears direction of buoyage is going the wrong way. You'd always need to check the chart to be certain exactly which way it's running. Another way to tell is direction of buoyage will run into ports. We can see this vessel approaching Venice. She knows she's going in, so she's going to be following the direction of buoyage. She'll leave the starboard marks on the starboard side and the port marks on the port side. Of course, in this particular case it's quite obvious because you're just staying between the marks, but you may get an instance where there's only a green mark or only a red mark. Another way to tell, again looking at Venice, we can look at the buoy down here, and this is a safe water mark, or a fairway buoy, and we know direction of buoyage will run from the fairway buoy. This will be particularly helpful if you're going up for oral exams, and sometimes the examiner might just put a safe water mark down and expect you to know the direction of buoyage runs from this mark. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Hopefully you found the information useful. If you have, thumbs up is always appreciated. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments section below. And to stay up to